Well, here we go, and here we are, and welcome to Way Back Wednesday edition of Montez at Midday. We're being brought to you by title sponsor, The Weed Squad St. Louis. Check them out at 8088 Watson Road. Also, visit the website www.dremontez.com for a complete listing of all the sponsors that have helped out with the show, and thank those guys so much. We also have our latest episode of our podcast, Who's to Blame Up, episode 471, where we discuss congratulating Uga on his national championship win and also the NFL coaching vacancies around the league. So wherever you listen to your podcast that you can catch that latest episode, or you can also follow it and track it on our Facebook page, Who's to Blame, Instagram, Who's to Blame the podcast, Twitter at W2B Dre Montez. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dre Montez, as well, and TikTok, Dre Montez 63. So there's all kind of ways to get you caught up on the show in the latest podcast episode. Again, 471. Thank you all. But it is Way Back Wednesday edition of the show. And hello, good people. How we doing? Got high fives out there for you. Chest bumping it. Hug this thing on out. Get in here for the real thing as well. Again, happy birthday to my brother, my man, Mr. Minden, on his birthday celebration, as it was Monday. So happy birthday to my man, Minden. And if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. Anniversary, anything you're proud of and want to push forward, congratulations to you. There it is right there. Good folk. Other than that, I hope everyone is doing well, and happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to you out there, good folks. If no one has told you happy birthday, happy New Year yet, I definitely will tell you happy New Year. And there it is right there. But again, it is Way Back Wednesday edition of the show. And no matter what, Way Back Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Feel Good Friday always has us thinking about the days of yesteryears. You know, the days when the holiday house parties were that thing. You know, it was that thing when you got into parties, $1 with the fly, $1.50. Well, I'm talking old school type things like that. But I want to take it a step further. I want to talk about congratulating the educational system, the folks that have been going, whether it's the student or the teacher. I want to applaud you guys for what you've been through the past 2 years. It has been a shift in the matrix, so to speak, in getting your kid prepared for school. I mean, it has been, not to have a kid in elementary school or high school, it has been odd watching the stories from behind, from the news and reading different things online, and actually speaking to parents and also some educators out there on how these past 2 years have been. So again, I applaud you all. And thinking of back to Way Back Wednesday edition of the show, I'm thinking about if you're 50 to 55 years old, when you were a kid, adults kind of listened to us differently then. I don't see that same type of transparency that's being going on, whether it's talking to actual educators and parents and students. I'm not talking about the high school students or the middle school students. I'm talking about the grade school kids. I'm going to go from 5th grade to 8th grade. I don't think the verbiage is there as openly two-way as it was when we were kids. And it had me reflecting on the things we had input in our school system, on what movie we were allowed to watch. We raise our hand and we vote as far as decorating the classroom. We were really involved in that. They really let the students really have control of that, the talent show. And we take it outside of that. Even on television, we had this television show for kids that was put on by kids for kids. And if that show is still out there and you're watching and know about it, please share it with me. I can't find it anywhere. It came on Saturdays, and it was awesome. It made you feel like you could be a weather person, a sports person, or the person that controlled the camera when out interviewing people with the microphone. It showed actual kids doing that. And that was a lot of fun. And it may have something to do with this latest movie that I've seen with Joaquin Phoenix. Any movie shot in black and white, I'm watching it no matter what. And this movie is so beautifully done. It's called Come On, Come On. And it's the discussion of kids, having that actual conversation with your kid. Now, there are parents out there who go too far with talking to their kid like a grown person. It has backfired on them in the worst way possible. I'm not talking about the crime or nothing like that. Just the way a kid talks to a grown person has changed over the decades. I didn't say years, over the decades. And we can point the finger at each other, television, media, the upbringing. There's blame everywhere when it comes to that. There is no perfect child anymore. We all are all trying to be the best version of ourselves as possible. But in the process of that, that has to be some type of a conversation going on with kids. And in this movie, the question he presents to a lot of these kids, I say age 10 to 15 years old, that he's talking to these kids. Or it may be as early as 8. I say 8 to about 12 years old. He's talking to these kids about what you know right now. Are you glad you know the things you know? Or if you were your parents, if you were the parents of your parents and your parents a child, what would you like them to know? And when you're looking at the future, how do you feel about the future? Now that's some pretty deep shit if you think about that, to have a conversation with the kid like that. There was no talk about a video game. There was no talk about spaceships. There was no talk about being a fireman or a policeman. These were like real actual kids. I don't think none of these kids were actors that they used in this movie. If it was their first time acting. But the way the movie is done, I thought it was beautifully done. And I think we're at the point where the sitting down watching television with the kid to learn together, this could be one of those type of movies that they've put together with Joaquin Phoenix. But have you ever talked to your kid that way on that level? I've really asked your kid the question, have I taught you enough? Because you're never going to learn everything about your parents. You're never going to learn everything about your kid. There's going to be some things you do not know, and we all know that. But you still must progress. You got to get older. You must mature. Education, values, and all that all changes as well. But the last 2 years, we have seen a definite shift in that from both angles, from the educator and from the kids, on how should this thing be done when it comes to educating our kids. Because we keep saying the kids are the future. Now, if you think about that, the context of that, are we really preparing the kids for the future? And will there really be a future for the kids to have if we keep this up? Because it seems like we've taken the child out of the conversation and now the adults are talking for the child. Every program that I have seen in a neighborhood that is giving you something to do after school or on weekends, it's put on by adults. And I told you one day I took a walk in my neighborhood and I met these kids and I was talking to them about this program down the street. And they were like, that's not what we want to do. I'm not saying every 10-year-old wants to be locked down to a TV playing video games, but there are kids out here that are doing some pretty innovative things by different programs, not just here in St. Louis I'm talking about, but I'm just talking across the U.S. on all these programs they have for kids just to go there and be a kid. There is no criteria for you to meet. There's no median income for you to meet. There is no race, no creed, no religion. If you're a kid, you go in this building and you can learn how to do this. I think if there was more of that, that would allow the conversation to open back up with kids. Because right now it's the bending over the pointing the finger at the kid conversation as more of what I'm seeing. By the videos that have been shared throughout social media the past 2 weeks of what has taken place in some of these classrooms is, how did we get there? How did the classroom get that disruptive? How does a kid leave the house, act a certain way at the house, on the way to school, act a certain way, and then get in the classroom and act a different way? I mean, how did we get there? There's somebody not communicating properly, well, either in the home, the student, or the educators, or maybe all three. Now, back in the day, it used to be real hard to get a parent to take off work, to go to school, to see the teachers about a child being disciplined. That got you in more trouble. You had your parents taking off work. I got to find somebody to watch you. I mean, parents could not just leave work back in the day. Now there's a little bit more leeway. There's communication devices now that people have. They're able to get a hold of their mom or dad or a parent or guardian who's taking care of them, as well as the child, as well as the teacher as well. But something is being missed for those past 3 videos that I saw about what's going on in the classroom. I don't ever see the respect for educators being where it needs to be at. There are too many people that think they know more than the teacher. And then there are too many people that don't even know the child that's coming into the school. There's nobody knows anything about each other. But I think if they open up this conversation piece with these kids, not the ones just in trouble all the time, but each and every kid, just talk to the kid, figure out what's going on. Not when it's too late. Not when it's too late. And that movie, Come On, with Joaquin Phoenix really addresses this in a beautiful, well-scripted movie. Again, I think this is one of those movies that could do very well when it comes to the award situation. This is a very, very deep, deep movie. There is no fighting, there's no crime, just great dialogue with adults and children. And the way it's captured in a black and white format, I tell you what, you had me at hello. Now, on the other side of this, I'm thinking about these school teachers out there. I mean, it is what is going on health-wise out there has caused, I think, a lack of learning. You know, you can't learn the way you used to. I mean, a lot of people are not in position to be at home with their child and make sure they understand how the laptop works and how to run the programs. I mean, it's if you ask a kid today and a kid 4 years ago, and they're at the same age, and we get them down, let's see what they have learned. I bet it'll be quite the shift in what we ever thought possible out there. But is there a simple solution to this? I am not an educator. I'm looking at this from the outside by watching the news, reading newspaper articles, magazine articles, talking to parents in my neighborhood, talking to kids outside of my neighborhood. That's where I'm coming from this. Now, if I'm missing something completely, just say, Dre, set the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not coming at this as a person with answers. I'm saying, why is the difference of talking to kids changed so much? And as much as we say the kids are the future, why aren't we talking to the kids about the future the way we should be? Instead, it seems like it's the adults talking about the future for the kids. Is that the right way to do this? Did we do something wrong as we were coming up and being young parents? That's something else to think about. I mean, school totally changed for starting kindergarten now, starting kindergarten when my kids were in kindergarten, and when I was in kindergarten, to my parents being in kindergarten. That's been a whole shift in the educational system. And we would think it's for the better. But when you talk to some of these kids and you look at the curriculum and understand the school system and what the teachers are going through, my head is scratching on all levels on this one. Is this future for the kids really set up for them to have a bright future? Or is it something more that we must do? But I still think we got to involve these kids. They're being missed out on so much. And then when they go to the left or a different direction that we don't agree with, we're making all these excuses, but where are the solutions to help? Where is it at? I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about having the freshest shoes or nothing like that, because a kid don't know nothing about that until someone presents that idea in their head. They have no idea what each school should have when it comes to books and equipment. That's way out of a child's hands right there. That should be adults only talking about that. But when a kid get invested in that, now they worried about what they school don't have and what other schools have. And they're missing out the most key component there is, learning. If it's your first time tuning in, thank you so much. This is Montez at Midday. I'm your host, Dre Montez, and I'm just sharing some thoughts on Way Back Wednesday and these kids today, because I just saw this outstanding movie with Joaquin Phoenix called Come On. It's a great movie. If you're a podcaster, if you're a live streamer, this is a great movie to watch. And if you're dealing with kids, it's a great movie to see. I don't even think the cussing is really that bad. I mean, all cases that I've seen a bunch of 9-year-olds say fuck. So I'm quite sure that that's okay if your kid hears the word fuck, because I've heard and seen kids use that type of language. Again, this is not a simple solution. I think we almost get involved in this whole thing here about the future. Because every time I hear somebody say that, I say, really? Do you really believe that? That the future is yours? We're getting this world prepared for you. Are we doing a good job at that? Across the board, across the board. We don't have to get deep down a rabbit hole on this, but just across the board, I have questions. But more importantly, guys, I'm getting ready to start off the New Year's resolution the way it should be, sticking to it. Now, Family Guy poked fun at New Year's resolutions in the past, as people always say this in October and November. I'm going to start working out the new year. I'm going to get my body ready for the summer. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to live healthy. I'm going to be healthy. This is when everybody is looking at their bank account, realizing that money they're spending at the gym, they haven't been going to the gym. The workout equipment that they bought, either still in the box or something is on top of it. But there's nothing wrong with that, because that also goes along with management of time. If you can't manage your time well, you're going to be behind, or you're going to forget to do things all the time. Time management really works. Maximizing your valuable time, figuring out what is the best you can give of yourself in those days that you're up. I mean, they do it in sports. They have actual analytics to prove to you how long and when it is during a game that an athlete performs at their highest. So if you could go throughout your 8-hour workday, or 12 or 15, who the hell works 8 hours anymore? Nobody. Exactly. So in your 15-hour workday, you have to pinpoint the most valuable time that you think can be utilized to be your best you. You got to figure that out. And it can be done. There's proof. If you keep track of your daily activities, you can figure out when you're most productive. Most people think it's between the hours of 8 and 10. A lot of people think it's between 2 and 4. But up to you. They have actual programs out there and apps for you to try to maximize your time and get the best value out of you. But now to my folks on New Year's resolutions that want to do better financially, keep doing your thing. I want to talk to my travelers out there. Who has burned the road up already this New Year's? Because I start mine in 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to going to Oklahoma. I'm going to Oklahoma, good folks, and I'm looking forward to it. Have never been to an Oklahoma City Thunder basketball game, but I am looking forward to it. What's going on, good folks? Thanks for tuning in. By the way, I got a few people here looking and paying attention to the show. Appreciate it, good folk. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's up, good people? Thank you for tuning in. But I'm looking forward to this trip in more ways than one. The bro time, that bonding trip that you have, that trip, it's going to be a lot of fun, not just the NBA game, but I think seeing the part of the city from actual people that live in the city that you're going to visit. I'm not talking about a club or a bar, nothing like that, but actually seeing the city for what it's worth, and to get my first hand in pink at wild hog hunting. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to shoot anything due to the visual situation going on with me, but I'm going to be in the vehicle. I'm going to definitely be in the vehicle to see this firsthand and foremost. But I'm looking forward to this trip as we leave in 2 weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And in the process of this, I'm planning the next trip. Memphis, where I come in March, I'm going to see Ja Morant. I'm going to see Ja. Yes, this dude is exciting. I mean, he's must-see highlights. He's must-see play a game. I got to see this young man in person. And all of this would have never happened if that one coach didn't walk by that gym and hear that young man dribbling the basketball when they had a conversation with him. That's why I always say, all it takes is one person to believe in you. And I'm telling you, you can just rise to the top on all levels. Outside of yourself, all it takes is one person to perpetuate that. And I'm telling you, it's just love all around. Nothing can stop that then. Once you get that one person to believe in you and what you're doing on your path and progressions, I'm telling you, beyond the sky is the limit. There is no stopping on what you can do once you get that belief system enthralled in you. Some people have it, some people don't, and some people are starting to figure it out. But once you figure it out, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of and witness for sure. Again, if it's your first time tuning in, you know how I feel about you. Visit the website, www.dremontez.com. We have more things we're going to add to the website. We just want to do it the right way. And the only way to do it is to do it. So I'm going to be doing some stuff with the website. So stay tuned and keep peeking at that. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dre Montez, our TikTok channel, Dre Montez 63. And don't forget, you can follow us on our Who's to Blame podcast page on Facebook, Who's to Blame the Podcast, as well as Who's to Blame the Podcast on Instagram. So it's all kind of ways to keep you up to date on what's going on. And again, shout out to ASAP Network, All Sports, All Plays Network. If you have Roku TV, check them out on there, as well as YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're all over the place. And I was pleasure to be a part with them this past college football season on Saturdays with my man Ray. And then also this past Monday during the national championship, we did a play-by-play show. It was up to 4 of us at one time talking about the national championship game between UGA and Alabama. Again, congratulations to all the UGA fans out there. Congratulations to you out there. Well-crafted, well-scripted game. Of course, those were not the same two teams that we saw play in the SEC championship, and I'm glad, and hopefully, nobody thought they were going to see the same two teams, but it was a game well played across the board. Heck of a third and fourth quarter, but in the end, I think the best team won the game on Monday night. Again, congratulations to all UGA fans out there. And if you've never been to Athens, Georgia, for a football game, I'm telling you, get there early. Get there and enjoy the people of Athens, Georgia. And what's amazing to me, I look at all the past Georgia teams they've had. There's been some great ball players throughout Georgia, but some roadblocks and hiccups have stopped them and prevented them from winning the national championship. But it was definitely their time to shine on Monday night. Again, this is the way back Wednesday edition of the show of Montez at Midday. And thank you to all of the sponsors that have been here, beginning, our past ones, our present ones, and moving forward, all of the ones that we have had here on the show. Got my man DJ on here. What's up, DJ? Got my cousin Benito on here. What's up? Got family watching the show. I appreciate that. Always a shout out to the softball community. Always a shout out to y'all. And I started the show giving a shout out to all the school teachers out there that have been doing their thing the past 2 years. I know this has not been easy for you, as well as the students out there and the parents, the working parents, making sure that their grade school kid gets out of the house and to the institution they need to be at. Job well done, people. Job well done. Keep up the good work. Can't say enough positive things about the educators out there. Really can't. Well, as I said, I'm super excited about my upcoming trip to Oklahoma as we start packing today. That may be a little bit my grandmother Mildred in me right there. Mama, that's in you and me right there. To pack early, son. Pack early. So I'm packing early. We're going to get ready for all the different inclement weather we think we may come upon, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow. Or we're not driving. Let's get there. Let's go. I'm ready for the road trip. I think we're going to shave our head completely bald and get ready for the summer. We're going to go bald out this summer. It's time to retire the afro. No, I'm just kidding because my barber's watching. I'm just kidding. Well, guys, thanks again for tuning into the show. Don't forget to check out the latest podcast episode. You can listen to the audio version on Anchor or wherever you listen to your podcast at, or you can check out the live stream version of it. I have it up on our Facebook page, Who's to Blame, as well as YouTube and Twitter at W2B Dre Montez. You can check it out right there for yourself, good folk. Other than that, good people, enjoy your day. Do something positive today. And more importantly, appreciate the details of the day if you don't mind. You got to do that. You got to appreciate the details of the day no matter what. You got to do that. And I'm going to get on up out of here. Shout out again and thank you to our top